I think the first time I really got excited about money was when, after winning Wimbledon, I used to take trips to Los Angeles from Florida to train with a coach, and we could only afford to do that so many times during the year because of the expenses of hotels and travels and all of that. But after winning Wimbledon, we stayed at a much better hotel, and I remember there's a little yellow rubber duck, and I called my manager as soon as I walked into the tub in the bathroom, and I was like, wow, winning Wimbledon is the best thing ever. I get this tub and I get this rubber duck and, the things that a teenager looks forward to.
So how did you learn how to handle money?
I think when you grow up not necessarily having a lot or not necessarily understanding what is a lot and how much it actually takes to work for nothing, I realized that it's not only is it a personal possession, it's always your choice with what you do, and your actions ultimately determine how far or low it takes you. But it's also being under the influence of really strong characters of parents, very disciplined people that, every single day that taught me something very valuable. My father was more in sports, and, something I speak about in my book was that my father was more of the sports influence. And then when I would come home, my mother was the cultural, it was the schoolwork, it was the life lessons, and then I would get the life lessons on the court from my father that kind of transitioned onto kind of my character. I wanted to let you know that a few days ago I received a letter from the ITF that I had failed the drug test at the Australian Open. I did fail the test, and I take full responsibility for it. For the past 10 years, I have been given a medicine called Mildronat by my doctor, by my family doctor. And a few days ago, after I received the ITF letter, I found out that it also has another name of meldonium, which I did not know. It's very important for you to understand that for 10 years, this medicine was not on WADA's ban list, and I had been legally taking the medicine for the past 10 years. But on January 1st, the rules had changed, and meldonium became a prohibited substance, which I had not known. I was given this medicine by my doctor for several health issues that I was having back in 2006. I was getting sick a lot. I was getting the flu every couple of months. I had irregular EKG results, as well as indications of diabetes with a family history of diabetes. I know that with this, I face consequences, and I don't want to end my career this way, and I really hope that I will be given another chance to play this game.
Do you form friendships in the locker room?
I don't. I'm not shy to say it either.
Why not?
Because it's such a competitive sport. It's so individual. It's tough for me to imagine being friendly and having a friendship with someone and then next day going out on the court and trying to beat them. I don't think that's fair.
Do you dislike the other player?
I don't dislike. I always feel like everyone is in their own little world. Everyone has, just because we're all tennis players doesn't mean we all have the same interests, doesn't mean we're friends, and we certainly don't play for the same team. So that's a bit different. I want to thank my incredible team for supporting me, everyone in the box, my family and friends that are watching on TV. Your support with tennis and everything else is really priceless. For everyone that makes this event one of the best in the world, thank you to Craig. You make us so happy every time. Where is he? He's over there. Oh, there he is. Craig Tiley, he is one of the best tournament directors you'll ever see on the tour. So congrats to him on putting up one of the best events in the world. And I know many of you thought that I would be retiring today and announcing my retirement, but if I was ever going to announce my retirement, it would probably not be in a downtown Los Angeles hotel with this fairly ugly carpet. like getting to know people and the connections that you make with people, and people always come back in your life at some point. And in the end, it's always a very, very small world.
What's the most important lesson you learned at Harvard?
I would say it was really about the people. I found myself in a classroom with 50 people that were much wiser and older than I was, and mostly men as well. It was probably 80% male to 20% female, and I had to be the one that would come up and speak to them. I think there's also like a little bit of intimidation factor. I didn't think they expected me to be in a classroom. And so speaking to them and understanding what everybody does, and we're there kind of on the same mission, maybe for different ideas and different products, and some are CEOs, some are starting in a company. It's not just about going to Harvard and getting a stamp or a little piece of paper with a diploma. There's so much more. For me, it was really getting to know the people and like that unfamiliar ground, because I'm always around people I know. So just throwing myself out there was, and like asking a question in a schoolroom, it's like, okay. At Harvard, when you're like not having an answer, but you're asking a question, like, okay, once I did that, I cooled down.
What do you say to people who say you only got certain contracts because you're blonde and good looking?
Well, good luck. You can go to the hairstylist and get your color blonde, but it takes a lot more than that. If somebody does say that, then I guess you could go and try it yourself and walk the walk and don't talk the talk, right? That's something that I've heard many people say, but I do believe in that a lot.
How did you financially adjust when you lost some endorsements?
I think I've done a really great job over the course of my career to manage the money that I've had. I invest good money, I'd say solid money, to have a great team, because great talent is not cheap, and that's in any field, whether you're an athlete or I understand the importance of treating your team really well. Was it tough to not get one extension out of the amazing amount of brand partnerships that I had? Yeah, of course, because it was, and not so much about the money, it was more about the relationship itself and kind of the people that you work with. I think that's much more valuable than money.
You work with a lot of female entrepreneurs, you try to mentor them. What's one lesson about entrepreneurship you're trying to impart to them?
I say you don't, when you're just starting out, we always feel that we have to be perfect at all different segments, and I came into a candy business not being familiar with the category, but I think there's something really cool and special about coming into a certain job description, not necessarily being that, because you're able to bring in a different point of view, you're able to have a different opinion, and even if someone has an opinion of their own, it's nice to have a challenger, because I think from that is where you create a lot of great ideas.